Let's get the eye line nice and tight.
Can I be drinking the coffee while we do this interview?
It doesn't have Starbucks on it.
It does not. It's just generic
Yeah.
bodega coffee. Diario La Prensa. ¿Cómo está? Déjame comprarte eso. Gracias.
Antes que se hacía mucho, ya no. Ahora con voto porque gana.
Ok. Gracias, jefe.
Una libra de batata cuesta 47.
Okay, so let's start actually, if you don't mind telling us kind of succinctly tell me your name and everything that you do for In the Heights.
My God, what don't I do? Hi, my name is Lin-Manuel Miranda, and I'm the composer-lyricist of In the Heights. I started writing In the Heights when I was 19 years old, and I just turned 28 a few months ago. So I've spent 8 years writing the show, and I also play Usnavi, the bodega owner, at the heart of the story.
And it's easier said than done, of course, but can you tell me a little bit about what In the Heights is about?
Sure. In the Heights is basically 3 days in the life of this block in Washington Heights, New York, on the brink of transition. It's getting more expensive, rents are going up everywhere, and we see these 3 businesses, and we meet about 12 characters and how they, experience this change. And I play Usnavi, who's the bodega owner, so all the stories sort of pass through his store. Everyone gets their coffee, their newspaper, their donuts, their lotto ticket from Usnavi, and so through him we get to meet the whole neighborhood.
And would you say one of the many things that's fascinating about the show is the music that's in it. It's
Yeah.
a bit different than you'd find in any of the theaters up and down that same street.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of curious, like how you would describe the music that's in the show.
The music is really, it's a mix, a potpourri, if you will, of all the music you'd hear in Washington Heights. I mean, even just filming this, it's hard for us to get people to turn down their radios. That's what it's like in Washington Heights. There's salsa blasting out of stereos, there's hip hop and reggaeton coming out of people's cars, and we really tried to use the music of this neighborhood, salsa, merengue, reggaeton, hip hop, which I grew up with, and use it to tell a story, a sort of old-fashioned story. It surprises me that no one has put hip hop and Latin music into a Broadway musical before me. I'm surprised that I beat everyone to the finish line, because I think the potential for this music is unlimited and fascinating. And so I'm surprised I got here first, because I've been writing this since 1999. But we're thrilled to be here, and we're thrilled to. What's really exciting is we get 80-year-old grandmas who say, "I hate rap music, but I love this," and we get kids who just are like, this is real. And we had our best show, or my favorite show, we had about 400 kids from Washington Heights. And when the screams they let out when they saw their Dominican flag up on that stage, it's an incredibly validating experience. So it's been really great to see kids relate to the show.
And obviously, studies are saying that there's a whole new mix of people that are coming to the theater, which is a great thing. Do you think that perhaps it will even seep even more into, say, the mainstream?
Well, you know what? I think my main argument is that I think musical theater has never gone away, because anyone who goes to high school has had some sort of school play or some school musical. That's why High School Musical is this international phenomenon, is everyone can relate to that. That's most people's way into musical theater. Most people can't afford Broadway tickets, but they do know what a musical is because it's come to their town, or it's come to their city, or it's come to their school. And so it's always been bubbling under the surface. So if we create shows that people will come to New York to see, I think there's a lot of potential for that, because it's already in there. It's in our DNA as a country. Musical theater is a part of our history.
So we'll walk and talk?
Yeah, let's walk, because we'll get these stores, and we'll turn the corner.
You didn't exactly grow up in Washington Heights, you were just over the border, right?
I did. I grew up 10 blocks from here. If you walk down that hill, you'll hit my house. My parents still live there. And, but my dad was a community organizer in Washington Heights. I took piano lessons 10 blocks this way on 181st and Cabrini. And frankly, going to Hunter on the Upper East Side of Manhattan, anything north of 125th Street was the Bronx in their eyes. So I always was sort of conscious of growing up in northern Manhattan. And then the other thing was, one of the first songs I wrote for the show, I started singing to myself, in Washington Heights. Inwood just doesn't sing like that. They say brilliant people borrow from the greats and geniuses steal from them outright. And there's a lot of West Side Story influence in this show. There's a lot of Rent influence in this show. Because I saw Rent for my 17th birthday, and it was a watershed moment for me. It was the first time I'd seen a contemporary musical in my life. I was like, oh, you're allowed to write about what you know in a musical? You're allowed to write about the East Village now, and artists struggling whether to eat or pay their rent. I related to that immensely because I knew I was going into the arts and I knew I was going to be broke for a really long time. So it was, that was really important for me and gave me permission to start writing about the things I knew. I didn't have to write about, a phantom in an opera house or cats. I tell people that basically the characters of the show are sort of a funhouse mirror of Chiara, who wrote the book, and my life. Her parents ran a restaurant and had various businesses growing up, so she understands that viewpoint really well. I had a lady who was my babysitter. She actually babysat my dad and lived with us and babysat me, who played the lotto every day. She was a compulsive gambler. And we'd go and I'd go pull the arm on the slot machines for her. I think the most autobiographical aspect of the show really is Usnavi's inability to talk to girls. That was certainly me when I started writing the show, and now even today. Getting tongue-tied around attractive women is something I'm especially good at, and I made sure that I made it to the stage intact. Okay, here we go. Bodega. Let's go to the drink aisle because I can show you fun stuff here. Dale. Listo. Ready? Bodega. Welcome to Washington Heights. Don't be afraid. This is our bodega. These are your mainstream drinks, but here we have the drinks you won't get anywhere else. You have your Coco Ricos. You have your Cola Champagne, which makes you feel very fancy when you're a little kid. What else do we have? Vitamin waters, that's 50 cents drink. And then, this is the good stuff. This is the real deal.
Your own drink? Are they gonna put your face on the...
Right. Yeah, it's gonna be called Fabuloso. The only problem is this is laundry detergent. And then what else we got? Here, this is stuff you will not find on 45th and Park. Guarapinha Taino.
Can we get a close-up?
That is a non-alcoholic drink involving pineapples and some other stuff. It's sort of an energy drink, but it looks like beer. Tema. And this is the stuff. We have this in our play. Country Club merengue flavor. Do you know what merengue flavor is? I don't either. It's effing good.
Can I get a close-up real quick?
Yeah.
That's great. That's good. I think you're good. And then just,
All right.
Just walk out.
Great. Walk it out?
Yeah, walk out.
Let's do it. Oh wait, let me tell you something else too. These ATMs at these bodegas, they're great because they distribute $10 bills. So if you have $17 in your bank account, you can still get money.